So the Enforcement Directorate has arrested sitting Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal and taken him to custody last night from his residence in Delhi. This is unprecedented for several reasons, and in this video I'm going to tell you why. Well, to begin with, this is what has happened. A 10-member team of the Enforcement Directorate went to Arvind Kejriwal's residence, conducted searches, questioned him briefly before making an arrest. This is according to PTI. Aam Aadmi Party's Sara has claimed that that the ED recovered from the house was 70,000 rupees in cash, and they also took away Kejriwal's phone. Now, during the searches, heavy security forces had to be deployed outside of the residence because party members and supporters swelled and started protesting, as they continue to protest even today. Now, a quick recall, Arvind Kejriwal had skipped ED summons for questioning 9 times before this arrest. In fact, in a Delhi High Court case in which the Delhi High Court refused to give him protection against arrest, Arvind Kejriwal submitted, the ED said that Kejriwal had not submitted himself to questioning, but the ED also said in Delhi High Court that Kejriwal or the Aam Aadmi Party have not been named accused in the case. Now, here is why this is, like I said, unprecedented. This is the first time ever that a sitting chief minister has been arrested and taken into custody while he is still a chief minister. Other chief ministers have been arrested in the past. Let me give you very recently. In Jharkhand, the chief minister at the time, Hemant Soren, had been arrested by the ED January 31st, but he resigned just before that and appointed Champai Soren in his place before he was taken into custody. Back in 2014, Tamil Nadu Chief Minister, then the late Jayalalitha, was convicted in the disproportionate assets case by a Bangalore court. She also stepped down, and O. Paneerselvam was sworn in her place. There's also another difference here. And this is the first time. In Jayalalitha's case, she was convicted, which means the investigation had been completed, evidence had been presented against her in court, and she was found guilty before she was arrested. In this case, Kejriwal is being arrested for not coming in for questioning. He has not even been named accused in the case, according to the ED. Also, you'll remember Lalu Prasad Yadav. Back in 1997, he was named in the CBI charge sheet in the fodder scam. He had to step down, and his wife, Rabdi Devi, was sworn in as a proxy CM in his place. Again, in this case, the charge sheet means that the entire investigation had been completed and he had actually been named, and they had found evidence and they were ready to present that evidence. In this particular case, in Kejriwal's case, it is not the case. Again, I want to point out that Aam Aadmi Party has made it very clear that he is not resigning and he plans to run the state of Delhi from inside of jail, and we're going to come back to that. Opposition members again have raised questions about the timing of this arrest. Remember, elections have been announced, model code of conduct has been brought into force. Congress General Secretary K.C. Venugopal has said that if the model code of conduct exists, it prevents the government from making any big decisions that could favor the ruling party. Is this such a decision? Now, again, there is a loophole here because the Income Tax Department and the ED are actually investigative agencies. They don't technically belong to the government. So they don't need the government's permission to conduct an investigation. So there is a loophole here where the ED can continue to do its job even when the model code of conduct has been announced. But the opposition saying that because it's happening during election time, because Kejriwal is the key campaign face for the Aam Aadmi Party, he's the leader of the Aam Aadmi Party, at this time the whole thing is suspect. Let me also take you quickly through the case itself that Kejriwal is being arrested for. It's being called the liquor policy case, the liquor policy scam, Delhi liquor policy. This is what's being called. Now, this actually happened because back in November 2021, the Delhi government under Aam Aadmi Party, Arvind Kejriwal, decided to change the policy for the sale of liquor in the state of Delhi. Now, under this new regulation, it said it could increase the revenue to the exchequer by 9,500 crore rupees. Up until then, the sale of liquor in Delhi was controlled by government and it had government vendors. And then everybody who needed the alcohol, like restaurants or someone's having a party, had to buy it from there wholesale and then sell it, and the price was controlled MRP by government. Now, the new policy released by the Arvind Kejriwal government back in 2021 sought to shut down those 600 government-owned vendor shops and basically allow private sector to have newly swank sort of mall-like spaces where people could go out and buy liquor, and also where these private sector, private shops could actually offer discounts on MRP as well if they wanted. Now, a year later, the Delhi Chief Secretary Naresh Kumar, who is a central government appointed position, wrote a letter or a report to the LG where he said that there were procedural lapses in this policy, and the procedural lapses actually benefit certain people and have given them liquor licenses through this policy. Now, and because of that, there have been kickbacks. Because of the kickbacks, there's been money that has come in, and the money has been used in the Punjab elections. Remember, it said Punjab Goa elections, but the Punjab elections, which the Aam Aadmi Party won in a landslide. Now, the report also alleged that because of all of this, there were losses to the exchequer of 580 crore rupees. Now, by July 2022, this policy itself was withdrawn by the government, and the LG asked for a CBI investigation. Once the CBI got involved, the ED then started investigating the possibility of money laundering linked to this entire thing. Now, there have been several arrests. A lot of the top brass of the Aam Aadmi Party is already in jail and have been for a while because of this case. Manish Sisodia, who is the Deputy Chief Minister, has been in jail since February last year. Rajya Sabha MP Sanjay Singh was arrested in October last year. Aam Aadmi Party communication in charge Vijay Nair was taken into custody in November 2022. BRS leader, and this is K. Kavita, was arrested last week, and just today the Supreme Court has denied her bail and told her to approach one of the lower courts. Now, what is the charge against Arvind Kejriwal himself? Arvind Kejriwal, like I said, has not been named in the FIR registered either by the ED or the CBI. He's not been named as one of the accused. But his name has found mention in the ED's charge sheet. The agency claims that he allegedly spoke to one main accused, Sameer Marendru, in a video call and asked him to continue working with Vijay Nair, who is the Aam Aadmi Party communication in charge, who's been taken into custody. The second reference that's been made to Arvind Kejriwal is made in a press release by ED on Monday, when it called him a conspirator in the case. Now, this is all we know. We don't know the details of any evidence, if at all, the ED has against him. Now, couple of questions that arise from this arrest. Can Arvind Kejriwal remain the chief minister of the state? Again, they have said very clearly, Atishi had a press conference where she said, we've made it clear that he will work from jail if needed. There is no law that stops him from doing so. NDTV sources have quoted the Union Home Ministry that have said they are examining the ramifications of Kejriwal not resigning because he's a public servant. They could find a particular process under which they can suspend him from service. Apparently, that is possible for government officials who have been taken into custody. NDTV has also spoken to sources in Tihar jail who have said, as per the jail manual, there is no mention at all of a chief minister from jail functioning from jail. Now, remember also, as a chief minister, according to the Aam Aadmi Party, he is entitled to Z+ security. Within jail, what security will he have? Who's looking after his safety? These are questions that have been raised as well. Now, let's put this into context of the elections. The opposition parties have slammed the government for using the ED repeatedly, of course, to target opposition parties. Let's also point out that just yesterday, the Congress party had a press conference saying that the Income Tax Department have frozen their accounts, and so entirely their campaign has come to a grinding halt. And it's also said that it received a notice from the Income Tax Department for their income tax in the years 1993-94, about 30 years ago, for some discrepancy. And the Congress is alleging that the freezing of their accounts currently is because of something the Income Tax Department has found from 30 years ago. They've accused the Prime Minister of crippling the party by freezing its bank accounts. Rahul Gandhi has said, and I'm quoting, our real leaders cannot travel. We're unable to put out ads. We're unable to send anybody by train also for campaign at this point because we have absolutely no access to money. This is the second time the party's accounts have been frozen. It happened on the 16th of February as well, where the party accused the Income Tax Department of freezing their accounts on flimsy grounds. Later that day, the bank accounts were released or unfrozen or defrosted. Not sure what we should call it at that point. There's also another report that came out in 2022 by the Indian Express that said that 95% of the cases that were filed by the ED since 2014 are against opposition leaders. So this is now largely building into an accusation against the government that they're using the ED and the Income Tax Department against opposition to keep them in jail. So remember, if Arvind Kejriwal is in jail, who is running the state of Delhi? And that comes under question. Could it be brought under LG rule / president's rule? Secondly, who is campaigning for the Aam Aadmi Party? Because now the Aam Aadmi Party is going to put all of its forces into this case and trying to get its people out of jail, Chief Minister out of jail. So is it really, does it have the ability to campaign? Arvind Kejriwal is the main campaign face, and so he is not going to be able to campaign. Also, remember, election is just a few weeks away. So all of this now adding up to the fact that, Jharkhand Chief Minister, former Chief Minister was arrested, now Delhi Chief Minister is arrested, is the government using the ED to target opposition. First, in the latest update says Arvind Kejriwal has withdrawn his petition from the Supreme Court and decided to approach a lower court first for his bail application. This is possibly also in response to the fact that Kavita's bail application was rejected by the Supreme Court in the same case, saying please approach a lower court first. So for the time being, it appears like Arvind Kejriwal will remain in ED custody.